water is very crucial for plant survivability. Why? Because apart from water, okay, plant also require carbon dioxide, light, energy, oxygen for respirations. Okay, carbon dioxide, water, and light is required for plant for making food from photosynthesis process. Okay, so apart from that, plant also required micronutrients. Okay, so micronutrients, minerals, okay, or nutrients. Nutrients generally can be grouped into two major groups. It is mineral nutrients and also non-minerals nutrients. Non-mineral nutrients um, uh, required by plants for making sugars. Okay, for example, non-minerals nutrients is carbon dioxides, oxygens, and also water. Sorry, non-minerals nutrients is carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. Okay, so these three elements can be taken up by plants in the forms of carbon dioxides, oxygens, and also water. Okay, so these non-minerals usually will not be face plant tak ada masalah to get these three non-minerals elements. Okay, why? Because carbon dioxide, water, and also oxygens can be found abundantly from the environments. Okay, unlike minerals, nutrients. Okay, minerals nutrients means nutrients that been taken up by plants from soils. Okay, so minerals nutrients can be generally divided into two. Okay, macronutrients and also micronutrients. Macro required by plants in large amounts, whereas micro required by plants in smaller amount compared to macronutrients. Okay, so photosynthesis, oxygens, nutrients, apa? Required dia tak apa carbon dioxide, oxygens, and minerals, dia takkan cannot be used if plant tak dapat water. Okay, because for example photosynthesis process to occur, it require um, mediums. Okay, biasanya mediums berair. So in cytoplasms, plant cells contains water in their cytoplasms. Minerals daripada tanah being absorbed by plant through daripada akar. Okay, biasanya minerals ni dia akan enter to plant cells, okay, root cells, biasanya dengan air sekali. Okay, so macronutrients are NPK, okay, Mg, and also sulfur. Okay, so nitrogens, phosphorus, potassiums, and other nutrients required by plants usually available for plant uptakes in certain conditions. Okay, for example, nitrogens are taken up by plant in the form of ammonia and also nitrates. So same to the other minerals, their availability for plant uptakes adalah very specific. Okay, for example, potassiums are available for plant uptake in a phosphate. Okay, so all these minerals are available for plant uptake in a ionic forms. Okay, why these minerals must be in ionic forms? Because it must be dissolved in water. Okay, so unlike humans or animals, plant dia tak ada muscle cells. Okay, kalau manusia kita boleh bergerak. Why? Because we have a muscle cells. Muscle cells. Okay, we can pump our blood to the whole organs in our body because we have kita ada jantung. Okay, and jantung tu dia daripada muscle tissues. Okay, dia boleh pump in and apa? Dia boleh pump darah tu sebab dia ada muscle cells. Tapi tumbuhan tidak ada muscle cells. Okay, but it must it must apa distributes all water, dia mesti apa, bagi air tu ke seluruh pokok. Okay, so how the mechanisms of plant to transfer the water from roots into other parts of their body. Okay, so transport in plant occur in 3 levels. Okay, first the uptake and loss of water and solutes by individual cells. The second is short distance transport of substance from cells to cells at the levels of tissue or organs, and long distance transport of set within xylems and phloems at the levels of the whole plants. Okay, so generally cell transport. Okay, cell transport mean yang pertama tadi, the uptake and loss of water solutes by individual cells. Okay, so basically the cell transport process can be divided into passive transport and also active transport. Okay, awak dah tahu kan apa itu passive transport, what is active transport and passive transport. Okay, generally passive is transport of solids that do not involve any energy, okay, in the form of ATP. Whereas active transport is transport that require energy in the form of ATP. There are a few examples of passive transport that occur in plant cells. Okay, for example, simple diffusions, osmosis, facilitated diffusions. Okay, example of active transport in plant cells is chemiosmosis using proton pumps, charge or electrical gradients, and also co-transports. Okay, so this is perbezaan antara passive and also active transport. Dia dulu saya ingat masa, if you remember in matriculations, okay, the difference between active and passive is the passive do not require any energy and also do not require any special protein. Okay, tapi dalam cells tumbuhan there is also passive transport that require protein transport. Okay, so examples of passive transport is diffusions. Okay, whether through simple membranes or through certain proteins that embed in cell membranes. The active transport is transport of solutes or ions through protein transport. So this kind of transport require energy in the form of ATP. Okay, so this is diffusions. Awak tahu kan apa maksud diffusions? Senang saja kan diffusions kan? Example of diffusions, awak letakkan, you immerse tea, uncang tea itu dalam air panas. Okay, so the tannins within this plant cell will diffuse out to water. Okay, so diffusions is movement of solids from high concentrations of solids into lower concentrations of solids. Okay, so for example in here, okay, awak tengok ini adalah, for example, this is molecule of dye. Okay, so if we put a dye, okay, in two parts of dua bahagian ni which separated by membranes, diffusions will occur if the molecule of dye travels from higher concentrations solids to lower concentration solids. Kat sini dia high concentrations of solids. Okay, sebelah sini adalah lower concentrations of solids. So the dye molecule will move from high concentrations to lower concentrations. Okay. Osmosis tadi diffusions, movement of solids. Osmosis movement of solvents. Okay. This is example of osmosis process. Okay, we have water molecules and solid molecules that being separated by semi-permeable membranes. Okay, so the water molecule will move to higher water potentials to lower potentials. Okay, so dekat sini the end result kita akan dapat bahagian sebelah sini akan we contains more water. Okay, why? because water will move from higher potentials, okay, to lower potential, to lower water potentials. Or in other words, water will move from lower concentrations of solids to higher concentrations of solids. Okay, so what will happen if cells immerse in different uh, osmotic in a different solutions that contain different osmotic pressure. Okay, osmotic pressure kita ada hypertonic solutions, isotonic solutions, hypotonic solutions. Okay, awak tahu kan apa maksud hypo, iso. Okay, what will happen to cell animals if we immerse the cells into hypertonics? What is mean hypertonics? The water potentials in the cells is lower compared to is higher compared to the surroundings. Okay, so what will happen? The water will move up from cells into surroundings. Okay, kalau animal cells dia jadi apa? Serif. Okay, dia akan mengecut. Samalah cell walls pun, plant cells pun dia akan mengecut, tapi dia punya bentuk tak berubah. Why? Because plant cells contains cell wall. Okay, kalau kita masukkan dalam hypertonics, the water will move into cells. Okay, apa yang jadi? Kalau animal cells dia akan burst. Okay, tapi kalau plant cells dia akan menjadi turgids. Okay, sebab dia ada cell walls yang halang daripada cell membranes daripada bocor, kan? Kalau awak ingat. That is example of passive transport. Okay, for active transport we have chemiosmosis. What is mean by chemiosmosis? Siapa ingat lagi? Awak dah belajar kan? So chemiosmosis berlakunya dekat chloroplast and also dekat mitochondria. Okay, so chemiosmosis is the movement of ions, okay, usually protons, from lower concentrations to higher concentrations through proteins. Okay, so this movement will cause high concentrations of hydrogens in outer space of cytoplasms ataupun pada permukaan sebelah luar cells. Okay, so what happens bila protons, okay, move out keluar cells, dia punya concentrations of proton in here will higher. Okay, so this will induce diffusions of protons melalui ATP synthase. Okay, so the movement of protons from outer cell to inner cell surface through ATP synthase will generate formations of ATP from ADP. And kalau awak ingat lagi, awak belajar ATP generations in mitochondria. Okay, ini adalah salah satu contoh dia melalui ATP synthase. Okay, this is also example of active transport. Okay, charge gradients, or in other words, use adalah electrochemical gradients. Okay, so in a cells there's a proteins. Okay, so this protein sometimes contains charge, whether it's negatively charged or positively charged. Okay, so this protein is very big, so it cannot move into extracellular, so it cause imbalance in charge. Okay, kalau macam ini adalah setelah keadaan seimbang. Okay, sebelum keadaan seimbang, this intracellular, bagian intracellular ni, it is negatively charged. So what happens? It will attract positive ions to move into the cells. Okay, for example, we have potassiums, sodiums. Okay, they can induce the movement of positively charged ion into the cells. Okay, certain protein also dia tak bercharge positive, it positively charged. Okay, when it positively charged, it will cause charge imbalance. Sebelah intracellular ni will positively charged. So what happens? It will induce the movement of negatively charged ion into the cells. Okay, faham tak? Okay tak?
Okay.
So banyak slide ni, saya takut tak sempat nanti. Okay. Another example of positive transport is co-transport. Okay. So what is mean by co-transport? Co maksud apa co? Apa maksud co? Macam kelas ni, saya co-teach with Dr. Fauzians. Co together, okay? Dia bersama-sama dengan molecules lain. Okay, for example, in cells, cell can transport sucrose by certain proteins that exist in cell membranes. Okay. However, the active site of these proteins can only fit to sucrose if there is a protons, okay, hydrogen ions attached to another part of this protein transports. Okay. So first, if cells require sugar, okay, sucrose for example, in the form of sucrose, so it will induce proton transportations to extracellular by proton pumps. Okay, so these protons then will bind into a certain site of proteins transport. These protein transports. Okay, the bindings of proton to this protein transport will expose the active site for sucrose attachments. Okay, selepas sucrose attach, the conformations, dia punya bentuk protein ni akan berubah. Okay, perubahan tu dia akan dia akan bawa sucrose into intracellular, bahagian intracellular. Okay, so this is cellular transport mechanisms happens in cells. Okay, we have diffusions, simple diffusions, where the solids will travel from high concentrations to low concentrations. We have also facilitated diffusions. Okay, so facilitated diffusions require proteins. The movement of solids also from high concentrations to lower concentrations. In cells also they have active transports, where they transport certain molecules using certain proteins. Okay, however, these proteins require energy. Okay, so if there is ATP, the conformations of these proteins will change. Okay, it will expose its active sites for attachment of certain solids. Okay, and then after the solids attached to these proteins, the conformations or the shape of these proteins will change. Okay, and it will transport in the solids. Cells also can engulf, okay, materials from extracellular. Okay, for example, it can engulf pathogens. Okay, endocytosis. Okay, we call endocytosis. Endocytosis is engulfing when the cell engulf materials from extracellular into intracellular. Okay, ini biasanya dekat animal cells lah. Sebagai contoh dekat kita punya sel darah putih. Okay, so sel darah putih dia akan engulf pathogens, for example bacteria. Okay, so dia akan salah satu mechanisms for protections. There is also exocytosis. Okay, exocytosis adalah berlawan dengan endositosis. Endo, when the cells engulf in. Okay, kalau exocytosis, cells ni dia akan keluarkan bahan excrete waste material, for example. Okay, it also ada process of osmosis. Okay, osmosis, movement of water ataupun movement of ions, chemoosmosis. Okay, so we move to another topics. Differences in water potentials drive water transport in plant cells. Okay, So awak tahu water molecules. Water molecules contains charged region, negative, positive regions and also negative regions. Okay, this is water molecules. The oxygens poles contain positive or negative?
Negatif.
Kalau awak ingat. Okay. Oxygen atoms in water molecules. It is partly positive or partially negative?
Partially negative.
Okay, why partially negative? Because oxygens contain 8 protons in the center, in the nucleus. Okay, so water molecules share one electrons between hydrogen atoms and also oxygen atoms. Okay, because of oxygen's atoms contains higher number of protons, it will pull electrons from the orbit of hydrogen atoms towards oxygen's atoms. Okay, so kalau kat sini dia punya electrons dia berkongsi, tetapi elektron tu dia lebih kepada kawasan oxygens. Why? Because in the center, in the nucleus of oxygen atom, it contains 8 protons. Compared to hydrogens, it only contains 1 protons. Okay, the pull force lebih kuat ke oxygens. Okay, sebab oxygens ni contains more electrons compared to hydrogen atoms, it will be partially negative charge. Okay, so dekat sini dia hanya ada proton saja. Okay, proton adalah positively charged. Okay, so in hydrogens, in water molecules, dalam satu water molecules, it contains 2 poles. One poles partially positive, the other poles partially negative. Okay, so that's why water is polar molecules. Okay, sebab dia ada positif dengan positif. Because water is polar molecules, it is a very good solvent. Okay, especially for ionic compounds. Okay, so these polar molecule of water also, it give cohesive properties towards water molecules. Okay, cohesive and also adhesive properties. Apa maksud cohesive? Cohesive adalah apa ya? Lupa pula. Attractions between water molecules. Okay, cohesive properties is attractions between water molecules. Adhesive properties, attractions of water molecules toward other compounds. Okay. Cohesions is the attractions of like molecules. Okay, so biasanya water molecules lah. Cohesions adalah attractions between water molecules that give water its tensile strength, whereas the additions adalah attractions between water molecules dengan molecules yang lain. Okay, example, cell wall, salt particles, glass tubes, okay, and etc. So these attractions explain the capillary and also water surface tensions. Okay, what is surface tensions? Surface tension is caused by cohesive forces within the liquid molecules. Okay, so oleh kerana tadi water molecules adalah polar, dia punya surface tensions dia lebih kuat. Sebab apa? Tarikan antara the pulls between water molecules higher. Okay, so kalau awak letak for example benda tu boleh terapung dekat surface of water. Okay, water potentials. Okay, so kalau we discuss about osmotic solutions, osmotic pressure, you must know about water potentials. What is water potentials? Water potentials is combinations between solid concentrations and also atmospheric pressure. Okay, so totals, okay, jumlah atmospheric pressure dan juga jumlah solid concentrations adalah kita panggil water potentials. Okay, unit for water potential is psi. Okay, measure in megapascal. Okay, kalau kita measure the pressure, kita gunakan pascal. Okay, 1 pascal equal to 10 atmosphere. Okay, pure water in an open container will have 0 psi. Okay, if we put solutes, okay, for example salt, okay, it will reduce water potentials of water. Okay, and if we increase pressure, it will increase the volume of water potentials. Okay, so there is a positive water potentials, there is also negative water potentials. Okay, kalau kita put a lot of solute in a water, the water potential become negative. Okay, ataupun kita beri tekanan, increase the pressure, the water potential will decrease. Okay. So ini tak ada apalah, ini seperti yang saya terangkan tadi. So water will always move across the membranes from higher water potentials to lower potentials. Okay. So if there is a membrane, semi-permeable membranes that will not allow the movement of solids, so water will move from lower potentials to higher potentials. Okay, osmosis. Okay, so this is a pure water. There's no solutes, there is no pressure exert to this water, so the water potentials will be 0. Okay, if we put, for example, 0.1 molar of sucrose, what will happen to these water potentials? Apa yang berlaku? Aisyah, ada tak nama Aisyah? Ada kan?
Ada.
Tak ada nama Aisyah ke?
Tak.
Oh, kelas awak tak ada nama Aisyah siapa saya lupa lah. Hani, ada tak? Hani, ada nama Hani kan?
Ada doktor.
So Hani, okay. So initially, this water have 0 water potentials because there is no solutes dissolved in this water, there is no pressure exerted to this water. So the water potential is 0. Let's say if we dissolve 0.1 molar sucrose, what will happen to this water potential? Apa yang berlaku?
Value water potential decrease.
Kenapa decrease? Sebab apa?
Sebab solutes reduce value water potential.
Okay, jadi like what I have explained, if we increase the solute concentrations within this within the water potential will reduce. Okay, if we increase the pressure, what will happen to the water potential? Apa yang berlaku?
Increase. Pressure increase water potential.
Kalau kita tambahkan tekanan, the water potential decrease. Decrease kan, betul ke?
Increase pressure.
Increase, okay. So let's say ini kita pergi dulu untuk yang solids. Okay, for example, we have 0.1 molar of sucrose dissolved in pure water. What will happen? The water potential will reduce. Okay. So if we put a flaccid cells to these sucrose solutions, what will happen? For example, this flaccid cells contains negative 0.7 psi of water potentials. We immerse these cells into solutions that have water potentials negative 0.2. What will happen? Apa yang berlaku? You must remember, water will move from high concentrations, from high water potential to from low potential water potential to water will always move from higher water potentials to lower water potentials. Okay, so dekat sini mana satu yang ada higher water potentials? Di solutions dia punya water potential adalah -2. So these cells dia punya water potentials -7. -7 dengan -2 mana lebih besar?
Negatif tu.
Okay.
Negatif tu lagi besar.
-2. So water will move from higher water potentials to lower water potentials. So water will move into the cells. Okay. So for example, we have another cells. Okay. In these cells, the water potentials is berapa ni? Oh, this is the same cells, okay? Cells yang tadi, okay? But we increase the concentrations of sucrose. Okay, for example, tadi kita masukkan 0.2 molar of sucrose. In this example, we put 0.3 molar of sucrose. Okay, what will happen? Water potentials, the cells higher, okay, compared to solutions. Okay, so water will move in atau move out?
Move out.
Move out.
Okay, higher water potentials. Okay, sebab kita tambahkan sucrose, the water potentials become reduced. Okay, so the cells will move out from the cells into solutions. Okay, pressure. Okay, if we apply pressure, okay, so applied pressure squeezes out half of the water, thus doubling the water potentials. Okay, so if we put water potential, if we put pressure, the water potentials will decrease. Okay, so daripada 0.7 tadi, they reduce kepada 1.4. Okay, what will happen? Initial state, sebab water potential tadi dia akan pergi daripada kawasan yang higher water potentials to lower water potentials, dia akan move out. Okay, sebab kita increase the pressure, the water potentials become decrease. Okay, betul ke ni? Oh, kita tak apply water potentials dekat ni, kita apply apply the pressure dekat cells. Okay, so kalau kita apply the pressure dekat cells, apa jadi?
Cell have higher water potential.
Lower lah. Kalau kita, tadi kan saya cakap kalau kita apply pressure, the water potentials become reduced. Okay, kan? Oh, water potential, saya lupa lah. Silap. If we put solutes, the water potentials become reduced. Okay, become decrease. If we put pressure, the water potentials become increase. Okay, dekat sini kita put pressure dekat cells, the water potentials dekat dalam cells ni dia lebih tinggi. Okay, apa yang berlaku? Air keluar daripada cells kepada solutions. Okay, awak ingat kalau if we put solutes, the water potentials become decrease. If we put pressure, the water potential become increase. Okay, so why water potentials is very important in plant cells? Sebab apa? Because because the turgidity of cells, okay, become support plant structure. Okay, kalau contoh especially untuk yang herbaceous plants, okay, macam pokok apa contoh ni, pokok tomato. Okay, so if we kalau dia punya water potentials dia sangat tinggi, apa akan jadi? Water daripada plant cells ni dia akan move out to the environment. Apa berlaku? The volumes of water in cells become reduced. The volume of water in cells become reduced, apa jadi? Apa jadi?
Layu.
Cells tu dia akan shrink lah, mengecut, dia tak ada support. Okay, vacuoles ni air dia keluar daripada vacuoles ke persekitaran. Apa jadi? Cells ni dia tak ada support. Okay, dia tak become tergrip. Okay, so dia punya support, pokok jadi layu. Okay, kalau kita pokok kekurangan air, kita bisa tengok kan, layu kan. Okay. So short distance transport versus long distance transport. What is mean short distance? What is mean long distance? Apa dia? Short distance is cell to cells. Okay, kalau long distance, the transportations of water to the whole plants. Okay, to the whole organs of plants. Short distance involve simple diffusions, osmosis, and also active transports. Why? Because cell to cells, okay, ataupun cells kepada apoplastic, persekitaran luar, ataupun simple plastic ke cells yang lain. Okay, cell to cells, also cells to surroundings. Okay, road, cell to cells across membranes. Okay, via simplus transportations. Okay, apa maksud simplus? Pada cells ke cells. Okay, through plasmodesmata, and also apoplast transportations from intracellular itu atau bahagian luar selular. Okay, faham tak ni? Senyap sangatlah kelas awak. Saya macam cakap sorang-sorang je. Faham tak? What is mean by simplus and apoplast? Tak ada masalah kan? Awak dah belajar kan? Okay. So this is an example of short distance transport. Okay, what is example of short distance transport? The transportation, the absorptions of water by plant roots. Okay, so water are available in soil solutions. Okay, for example, so water molecules can be moved into plants via apoplast and also simplus. How water molecules can move from one cell to another cells by apoplast. Apoplastic route, macam mana dia? Macam mana boleh berlaku apoplastic transportations from surroundings, from soil solutions into root cells? Ingat tak tadi apoplast? Apa maksud apoplast? Apoplast, movement of molecules, dia tak akan melalui cytoplasm. Kan? Ingat tak?
Ingat.
Tak ingat? Ingat tak ingat?
Tak.
Ulang balik
Tak ingat. Ulang balik. Okay. So, apa maksud short distance transport?
Cell to cell.
Cell to cells. Okay. Short distance transport means cell to cell. Transportations of solutes or water molecule from one cell to adjacent cells. Okay. So these transportations, okay, cell to cell transportations can be through simplus or can be through apoplast. What is means by simplus? The solutes, the water molecules travels from cytoplasms of one cells into cytoplasms of another adjacent cells. Okay, so usually lah, it must go through plasmodesmata. Okay, awak ingat tak dekat sel plant cell tu ada plasmodesmata. Okay, apa dia plasmodesmata? Apa dia plasmodesmata?
Junction
Tak ingat juga.
Pathway.
cells.
Okay. So plasmodesmata adalah laluan antara sel ke sel yang lain. Okay, for example, okay, ini adalah satu cells. Okay. Ini adalah satu cells. Ini adalah satu cells yang lain. Okay. So these two adjacent cells is connected, okay, by plasmodesmata. Ada laluan ni. Nampak ni kan? Ada laluan kan? Okay, so cytoplasms between these cells and to the adjacent cells bersambung. Okay. So kalau saya cakap short distance transport via SYMPLAS adalah transportations of compounds, molecules, minerals from one cell cytoplasms into another cell cytoplasms. Okay, dia melalui cytoplasms. Okay, so apa dia punya roots? Plasmodesmata. Apoplas adalah transportations of water molecule. In here kita sebut water molecules lah kan, senang kan. So apoplas root adalah movement of water molecules from one cells to another cells via apoplastic roots. Apa masuk apoplastic root tu? Dia tak masuk cytoplasms. Dia hanya melalui cell wall saja. So, for example, this plant absorb water molecules. The water molecules diffuse into plant cell walls. Okay, dia tak masuk cytoplasms. Okay. So daripada satu cell wall ni dia tak masuk cytoplasm. So dia ikut satu cell walls ni, dia pergi ke sel yang lain. Okay, the roots are via cell wall. The water molecules will not cross the cytoplasms. Okay, so itu adalah apoplas transport. Faham tak?
Faham.
Okay. So how do roots absorb water and minerals? Okay, so next week we will have a lecture on mineral required by plants. Okay, so minerals are available for plant uptake if it dissolve in a water in soil solutions. Okay, so kalau ada, we know that, for example, plant required nitrogens. Okay, nitrogens can exist in environments in different forms. Okay, for example, nitrogen can exist in a form of gas. Nitrogen also can exist in ions. Okay, for example, it can exist in a form of nitrates. It can exist in a form of ammonia. Okay, nitrogen also can exist in a form of attached with another minerals. Okay, for example, dalam tanah tu kita ada clay, kita ada sands. Okay, in sand itself dia ada materials yang built from nitrogens. Okay, so nitrogens in these conditions are not available for plant uptake. Why? Because it not dissolved in soil solutions. Okay, so this is examples of how minerals can be absorbed from the soil solutions into plant cells. Okay, so macam saya cakap tadi, plant require a lot of minerals. Dia ada macronutrients, dia ada micronutrients, dia ada minerals, dia ada non-minerals. Okay, so non-minerals, for example, carbon dioxide, dia boleh dapatkan daripada carbon dioxide. Okay, for example, kalau minerals, nitrogens, NPK dan yang lain, dia perlu larut dalam air. Okay, but dia punya mechanisms of this mineral uptake by plant roots, dia semua tak sama. Okay, ada minerals that can be uptake by plant by diffusions. There is nutrients that can only be uptake by active transport. Okay, for example, chlorines, potassiums can be uptake by plant by simple diffusions, whereas ions, nitrogens, phosphorus can only be uptake by active transport. What is mean by active transport? It requires certain proteins carrier and also it requires energy. Okay, for example, in here, ini samalah macam apoplas dengan SYMPLAS tadi. How do plant absorbs minerals? Okay, for example, kita ada dua contoh, apoplas dengan SYMPLAS. Kita mula dengan apoplas dulu. What is mean apoplas? Apoplas is uptake of water by plants melalui cell walls. Okay. Yang biru ini adalah apoplast roots. Okay. Nampak kan? H2O. It diffuse into plant cell wall and cell membranes. Okay. From one cells, it move to another cells, another second layer of cells. Okay. For example, this is root hair. This is parenchyma, parenchyma ke another layer of cells lah. Okay, for example, this is first layer of cells to a second layer of cells. Okay, so the water molecules travels from one cell to another cells via cell walls and cell membranes. Okay, and then the final destination is xylems. Okay. Casparian strips. Okay. So there is selepas sini dia akan terus ke xylems. Okay. So ini adalah apoplast roots. Symplast roots. Okay. So the water molecules diffuse into cytoplasms of root hair. Okay. So water molecules from first layer of epidermis to the cortex travels from plasmodesmata into second layer of cells. Okay, dekat cell membrane, cytoplasms ni. Okay, the final destination is xylems. Okay, from the plant roots it will taken up. Okay, daripada bahagian bawah pada bahagian sebelah atas melalui xylems. Okay, faham tak?
Faham.
Okay. So ini adalah penerangan. Sama saja. Saya berulang-ulang slide ni. Okay. Okay, solute pass into root from the dilute soil solutions. Okay. So this is dilute soil solutions. It will absorbed by plant roots via apoplast and symplast roots. Okay. So active transport occur through proton pumps that set up membranes potentials that drive the uptake of mineral ions. Okay. So this is symplastic roots. Okay, so the water and also minerals uptake by plants into plant roots into cell cytoplasms. Okay, the mechanisms involved is active transports. Okay, especially this is for minerals. Okay, kalau water molecules dia biasanya tak adalah melalui active transport. Water molecule can diffuse in to the cytoplasms. Okay, so some water and dissolved mineral passively diffuse into cell walls. Okay, ini adalah symplast, ini adalah apoplast. Okay, sama je lah macam saya terangkan tadi ya. Symplast melalui cytoplasms. Okay, so symplast biasanya involve active transport and also passive transport. But for apoplast, biasanya it involve passive transport, diffusions only. Okay. Tapi bila sampai satu bahagian cells ni yang ada Casparian strips ni, apoplast dia perlu melalui symplast. Okay, sebab apa? Dia ada Casparian strips. Okay, so awak tahu kan apa itu Casparian strips? Tahu tak apa itu Casparian strips?
Tak.
Tak ingat.
Tak ingat? Casparian strips adalah rings atau bands yang apa ada dekat plant roots kan. So the bands ni ataupun rings ni Casparian strips ni adalah ni. Okay. So kalau kita tahu plant ada plasmodesmata, dia ada plasmodesmata. Okay. So dekat sini ada satu bahagian ni this plasmodesmata, dia ada satu bands. Bahagian ni deposit with lignins. Okay, so what will happen? Tadi apoplast. For example, water molecules. Water molecules diffuse into plant cell wall. Okay, from one cells it diffuse into another plant cell walls. Okay, so after cells that has Casparian strips ni, the apoplastic root water molecules that move into apoplastic roots dia tak boleh pergi ke cells yang lain melalui apoplastic routes. It must melalui symplastic route. Okey, sebab apa? Ada Casparian strips ni. Casparian strips ni dia water impermeable bands ataupun gelang dekat akar tu, dia tak permeable to water. Okey. So apa-apa dissolved minerals dia tak boleh melalui apoplast, dia mesti melalui symplas selepas Casparian strips ni. Sebab apa? Casparian strips ni dia halang movement of water through cell wall. Okay, so dia perlu melalui cell membranes ni, cell cytoplasms. Okay, so faham tak?
Faham?
Faham.
Ya.
Doktor,
Yeah.
apa guna ada Casparian strip tu?
So Casparian strips ni dia perlu sebab apa? Okay. For example, the pathogens ataupun minerals yang lain. Okay. So bila melalui sel cytoplasms, Casparian strips ni fungsi dia untuk tapis, okay, untuk menghalang molecules solute minerals or water ataupun water molecules melalui cell walls ni. Okay, so pathogens ataupun mineral-mineral yang lain perlu melalui cells. Okay, so dia sebagai macam filter. Okay, the impermeable to water, also ada minerals. So minerals dengan water tu perlu melalui cells. Okay, so bila melalui cytoplasm, cells boleh tahu sama ada mineral tu toxic ataupun tak toxic. Okay, so certain mineral are very toxic to plants. Okay, for example heavy metals. Okay, ataupun apa-apa benda lain macam racun serangga yang dissolve dalam water. Okay, dia adalah toksik pada tumbuhan. So untuk menghalang toksik naik kepada bahagian yang lain, ada part of plant organs, dia melalui cytoplasms. Bila dia melalui cytoplasms, when the plant detect is toxic minerals, dia akan simpan ke vacuoles, dia akan ada satu mekanisme lain untuk excrete ataupun ada certain mekanisme untuk menghalang daripada this toxic travel from one part itu another parts of plant organs. Okay, faham tak? Faham?
Faham.
Thank you, doktor.
Okay. So kita dah pukul 11 suku. Biasanya saya pukul 10, kita 2 jam kan. Selepas 1 jam kita rehat. 1 minit, 2 minit boleh? Awak semua dah sarapan ke? Awak semua dah sarapan ke?
Ya.
Sarapan?
Belum.
Belum? Okay. Kalau awak nak sarapan, saya bagi masa 5 minit lah. Boleh tak kita break dulu 5 minit? Okay. So 11